Hello students, I am VK Singh. Today I will start the new chapter in physics that is about your current electricity. So we have to start the current electricity, and in current electricity we will continue our discussion. So all of you have the basic idea. This current electricity is basically the branch which you have already read in your junior classes. What is current, what is voltage, like that, only simple things you have already read. But what I want to tell here, the basic fundamental definition of current, you all know current is a word of English. Water current is there, heat current is there, electric current is there. So flow of water is water current, flow of heat is heat current, and flow of charge is your electric current. So the basic fundamental definition of current, I is equals to delta Q by delta T. What is this? This is your average current. Average current means total charge flown through a cross-sectional area in the time interval dt. This ratio is your average current. If I talk about instantaneous current, I average I am writing, INS I am writing, then dq by dt. It is your instantaneous current. What is instantaneous current? At a particular instant. At a particular instant, what is the current? That is your instantaneous current. Now, basically, whenever we are talking about physics, in physics is a subject to be felt. If you are able to feel the physics, you are able to understand the physics, then you are able to apply the physics, and when you are able to apply the physics, you can enjoy the physics. So this is the basic purpose which I keep in mind while teaching the physics. So here, this is the current, average current and instantaneous current. Now, current is basically the flow of charge. Now, if we talk about current carriers, if we talk about the current carriers, you know that conductor, you know electrolyte, you know gases. Conductors are very good, are very helpful in flowing the current. That means good conductors allow the flow of current, flow of charge through itself in a very comfortable way. So why? Because they contain large number of free electrons. So in conductor, free electron is your charge carrier. In conductor, free electrons, that is, the current is due to free electrons. If we talk about electrolyte, which is liquid conductor, here the ions are there, positive ions and negative ions. So ions are charge carrier. Ions are charge carrier. Now the next thing is there, gas. If we talk about gases, in ordinary situation, gases are insulator. But at very low pressure and high potential difference is applied, low pressure and high potential difference. Very low pressure and very high potential difference is applied, then it ionizes, and electron and your positive ions are your current carrier. So this thing is the basic fundamental thing that you all should know about current in the basic primary way. Now, any conductor, if you are in conductor, electrons are in random motion, zigzag motion, that is undefined motion. In different direction it is moving in with different speed. So what I want to tell you, that there is a drift of electron in a particular direction, then the current is observed. So what is that drift speed? If drift speed, and for that you have to maintain the potential difference. If potential difference is not maintained, you cannot expect the current. So what I want to tell you here, drift velocity, suppose this is a conductor. This is a conductor whose length is L. Inside the conductor, the electric field is 0. Now I have applied a potential difference with the help of battery across the ends of the conductor. As a result, the free electron, electric field will be developed in this direction and free electron will move in this direction. So when the free electron is moving in this direction, there is a force that is acting on the free electron. What I mean to say, that in an electric field, the charged particle experiences a force. What is that force? That force is F is equals to QE. Charge into electric field. Now here, what is force? F is equals to, what is charge? Charge is your electronic charge minus, in the opposite direction of electric field, positive charge moves in the direction of electric field, whereas negative charge moves opposite to the direction of electric field. So E we can take. Force is equals to mass into acceleration, m into acceleration, that is minus E. So we are getting acceleration is equals to minus E by m. This is the acceleration of electron and this is the mass of electron. This is mass of electron. Mass of electron. This is the acceleration under the influence of electric field that the electron will experience inside the conductor. Now when the electron is experiencing this acceleration, then what I mean to say here, velocity. Now electrons are in random motion, there the collision takes place. So if tau is the average relaxation time, tau is the symbol, average relaxation time, then velocity of electron, drift velocity Vd is equals to, if I take the magnitude of acceleration into tau. This tau is average relaxation time. This is called average relaxation time. That is time between two successive collisions. Now A tau is there. If I take the value of magnitude of A, then it is your E by m into tau Vd. So drift velocity is your E by m into tau. E is the electronic charge, m is the mass of electron, E is the electric field, applied electric field due to this battery, and T is the, tau is the average relaxation time. So after this drift velocity, after obtaining this drift velocity, the electron starts accelerating, starts its movement opposite to the direction of electric field. Now the expression for drift velocity is E by m into tau. Now what I would like to tell you, a common relation current with drift velocity, you already know, I is equals to NAEVD. I is equals to, the current has got the drift velocity, that means I is proportional to drift velocity. I is equals to NAEVD, where what is N? N is not number, it is number of electron per unit volume, per meter cube. So N is your, it is called number density. Unit is meter cube minus 1. Unit is per meter cube. Per meter cube. A is cross-sectional area of conductor. Cross-sectional area of conductor. E already you understand, electric field, electronic charge, and Vd is your drift velocity. Here I by A represents a new quantity called current density. Current density. I by A is representing a new quantity which is a vector. Current is a scalar, but this is vector, and this has got the name current density. So current density is how much? Current density is equals to NEVD. Take it as equation number 1. Now, if in the equation I is equals to NAEVD, if I place the value of Vd, here you see, I is equals to NAEVD. At the place of Vd, I am keeping this value. This value I am keeping at the place of Vd. So it is your E by M into tau. So NAE square by M tau into E. This is the value of current that we are getting. Now one more thing you should understand, that electric field E is equals to potential difference per unit length V by L. So what we are getting? We are getting NAE square by M into tau into V by L. So finally we can get V is equals to, V is what? Potential difference. Potential difference is equals to V is equals to ML by NE square tau A into I. Now here you see carefully, mass of the electron is constant. If L and A are kept constant, N is constant, E is constant, so this term is constant. And if you compare it with V is equals to IR, then R is equals to ML by NE square tau into A. This is the value of resistance that we are getting. Resistance is this much. So in this resistance, what we observe, resistance depends upon L, resistance depends upon cross-sectional area, but these quantities are constant. So if we compare it in this way, that R is equals to rho L by A, then rho is equals to ML by NE square tau. Now see, resistance depends upon length and cross-sectional area, but this is the property of material. It does not depend upon, sorry, L should not be there, MNE square tau, but this does not, this is the property of material. This is the property of material, conductor. Mass constant, N constant, E constant, tau constant. So this depends upon the property of material. Two things are there. One, nature of material, and other is temperature. Temperature is also the factor on which it depends. So on temperature, by temperature change, N also change and tau also changes. Temperature बढ़े पछि, if we increase the temperature, then what will happen? N will increase, tau will decrease. Why tau will increase? If temperature, if this is the collision, This is the, if we increase the temperature, this is the collision. So average relaxation time has decreased. Average relaxation time has decreased. Now, what I would like to tell you, here, if you see about this is your specific resistance. This is being called a specific resistance or resistivity, and 1 by rho is represented by sigma. This is your conductivity. This is your conductivity. Now come to the equation J. J is equals to NEVD. So J is equals to NEVD. So if we keep in J, here you see J is equals to NEVD, and VD is your E by M into tau. J is equals to NEVD and VD is equals to E by M into tau. And this is your NE square by M V by L, no, V by L not, NE square tau into E. Here you see sigma is what? Rho is what? Rho is M by NE square tau. So this is 1 by rho. This is your 1 by rho into E. So J is equals to sigma E. This is the very important relation for your examination point of view. J is a vector, E is a vector, and sigma is your conductivity. So this is a very important result for your examination point of view, that current density is equals to conductivity into electric field. So a specific resistance resistivity is equals to M by NE square tau. M is the mass of electron. Here now we would like to see the effect of temperature. Effect of temperature. Experimentally, it has been observed effect of temperature we will see on the conductor, semiconductor. So, and also some specific conductors, alloy conductor like nichrome, constantan, manganese, like that only. So here you see, if we change the temperature, these two factors N and tau are going to change. So it will change the, it has been observed that by increasing the temperature N, this increases and tau decreases. So what will be the result? In case of for conductor, the graph was plotted like this. Here is resistance, resistivity or resistance. Here is temperature, Kelvin. That means by increasing the temperature, this is for your specifically copper, which has the number of free electrons 10 to the power 29 per meter cube. This is the N for your copper. Now, as the temperature increases, the resistance or resistivity both increases in case of conductors. Here you have to understand, you may confuse that if N increases, tau decreases, how it is possible that resistance is going to increase actually, or resistivity is going to increase. Actually this effect is less and this effect is more. So this tau dominates in case of your conductor. Tau dominates, average relaxation time dominates, which decreases with temperature, and so the resistance and resistivity of the conductor increases with your temperature. If so, dominating factor is what? Dominating factor is tau. Temperature increase, N increase, tau decrease, but this is dominating. This is experimental result. This is dominating in case of your conductor. If we take the case of your semiconductor, the charge carriers are electrons and holes, that we will discuss in the semiconductor section, but its property is between conductor and insulator. So in this case the graph was like this, experimental curve. Here is resistivity or resistance on this axis, and here is temperature in Kelvin. So by increasing the temperature, resistance or resistivity of semiconductor decreases. Why? In this case this N effect dominates. Here this dominates, so result is increase. Here this dominates, so result is decrease. So the temperature, by increasing the temperature of semiconductor, what happens? Its resistance and resistivity both decreases with increase in temperature. Now the next case is specific alloys. Specific alloys, we prepare only alloys for our own purpose, like nichrome, constantan, manganese. These are the alloy practically used in highly sensitive electrical experiments, where because by flow of current the temperature changes, and the temperature changes so resistance changes. But these are the alloys that are prepared specifically for the experiments whose resistance and resistivity nearly does not change with temperature, which increase in temperature. So these alloys, in this case you will observe that actually it is also made up of metals. So slightly we can observe that. So resistance or resistivity, this has got slightly in this way value, slightly it is in this way, slightly increases there. Here the temperature is there. So there is slightly increase in the resistance or resistivity of alloys like nichrome, constantan, manganese, and these alloys are used in making the standard resistance coil, which is used for compare the other, which is used to find the resistance of other materials. So this is all about the effect of temperature on resistance and resistivity. Now we have seen the effect of temperature change on resistance and resistivity, but the question arises, if we want the numerical value, then how can we find it? So in order to calculate the numerical value, we have to define a term, that is temperature coefficient of resistance. we have to define temperature coefficient of resistance. Suppose R naught is initial resistance. When temperature is Ti, if and the delta T dt amount we are, or better you say T is the temperature, when temperature is T. If dt is changed, if dt is changed in temperature, resistance becomes R naught plus delta R, and temperature becomes T plus delta T. It is observed that delta R is proportional to initial resistance R naught, and delta R is proportional to temperature difference delta T. This is experimentally observed. Change in resistance is proportional to initial resistance. This is initial resistance, and this is temperature change. Combining these two results, we can get delta R, that I am writing as dr, is equals to alpha, this is proportionality sign, this is alpha, R naught dt. I am writing in this way. Delta T I am writing in this way, dt. This is a constant. This is a constant. And this is called your temperature coefficient of resistance. Now, what I would like to tell you, in most of the cases, if I want to find the resistance, that is, if I integrate, after integrating, what we get? We get dr from R naught to R final, suppose, is equals to integration T initial to T final alpha R naught dt. This is temperature final, this is temperature initial, and this is resistance final, this is resistance initial. So generally in most of the cases alpha is constant. In 99% cases it will be constant, but it is not always. By temperature change alpha can also change. There can be situation when alpha is the function of temperature, and then we cannot remove it. But if alpha is constant, for 99% cases, if alpha is constant, then we can take R naught alpha dt, T initial to T final, and this is giving you R final minus R initial is equals to R initial I am taking as R naught I am taking as R naught is equals to R naught alpha T final minus T initial. So R final is equals to R naught plus R naught alpha T final minus T initial. So R final is equals to R naught 1 plus alpha If I am writing this as delta t, then delta t. So this is the formula that is given in the book, and I have tried to make you understand, make you feel that how this formula has been developed. Alpha, here we are considering that it is constant. Now this value of alpha, if we take, if the same material is there, if we take in terms of resistivity, you can write rho final, R is equals to rho L by A, L by A is equals to rho initial L by A 1 plus alpha delta t. So L by A will cancel, and you can get rho final is equals to rho initial 1 plus alpha delta t. So this is the resistance and resistivity expression for temperature change, and it should be clearly understood in mind, and then we can understand it in a proper way so that we can apply it in our day-to-day life while solving the problems of resistance and resistivity. Now with this expression we can calculate the numerical value of resistance by temperature change. Numerical value of resistance we can get it here, or resistivity we can get it here if the temperature is given and the temperature change is given and the coefficient of resistance is, temperature coefficient of resistance is given. Here what is important to understand, that we have seen that in case of resistance in case of conductor, resistance increases. We have seen in case of conductor resistance increases. So for conductors alpha is your positive. If alpha is positive, then only we can say that this value R final will be more than the R initial value. So for conductor alpha is positive. For semiconductor, what we have observed? We have observed that in case of semiconductor, the resistance and resistivity decreases. Resistance and resistivity decreases with increase in temperature. So alpha is negative. And for alloys like nichrome like alloys, for nichrome like alloys, alpha is 0, nearly, not exactly, nearly it is 0. So this is the way we have understood the effect of temperature on resistance and resistivity. I hope that this will build you in understanding the concept. Now I will see one or two questions simple based on this concept, that how we can apply this formula. For this we will see two examples and then we will move to the next portion. Here you see the resistance of a wire at room temperature, that is at 27 degrees centigrade, is 100 ohm. Find the temperature at which resistance becomes 117 ohm. You have to find the temperature, and here alpha is given 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 4 per degree C. Now our formula that we have learnt, RT is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha delta T. RT is how much? 117. R naught is how much? 100. 1 plus alpha is how much? 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 4. Delta T is what? Final minus initial. So T minus 27. We can write in this way. Problem is solved. Why? 117 is equals to 100 plus 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 2 t minus 27. So 117 minus 17 is equals to 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 2 t minus 27 degree. That is t minus 27 degree is equals to 17 by 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 2 0.0. This will cancel. So this is your 1000. So t is equals to how much? 1000 plus 27, that is 1027 degrees centigrade. This is your answer. This is the way we have applied the formula. Just now we have learned this formula and we have applied it in solving the numerical. Here is the question that we are going to discuss. Second example. Two conductors are there. Same cross-sectional area, same length. Material is different. Rho 1 alpha 1, rho 2 alpha 2. You have to find the conditions so that resistance of the combination of the two resistors is free from temperature change. Whatever temperature you will change, the resistance should not change of this combination. There are two resistors, they are in series. So resistance of combination R1 plus R2. By increasing the temperature, by temperature change, R1 final is equals to R1 plus alpha 1 delta T. R2 final is equals to alpha 2 delta T. Now R1 plus R2. According to question, R1 final plus R2 final is equals to R1 plus R2. Why? Resistance should not change. You have changed the temperature, but resistance should remain the same. So R1 final is what? So R1 plus 1 plus alpha 1 delta T plus R2 plus 1 plus alpha 2 delta T must be equals to R1 plus R2. So this R1 R2 will cancel. And what we are getting? Delta T will also R1 is equals to rho L1 by A1. This is the condition that we have obtained. Here we have considered that length and area of cross section are same, but it can be different also. If it is different, then we will put the value and we will get the result. But this is the condition, and from this condition we understand that the sum of two quantities is 0 only if one is positive and one is negative. So rho 1 rho 2 cannot be negatives, and what is negative? If alpha 1 is positive, alpha 2 is negative. If alpha 2 is positive, alpha 1 is negative. What it means? That one piece is conductor and one piece is semiconductor. I hope that discussion of this question will be helpful to you in clarifying the subject matter in a better way, and it will be helpful to you. If it is helpful to you, it will give me immense pleasure. With this, I am ending the today's session. In next session, we will continue our current electricity, and few good questions we will see, which will help you in preparing the examination in a better way. Thank you.